when the days was good. I used to own a Cadillac, but gas got so high, I had to give it back, 'cause inflation, and it getting worse every day.
So many people worried about inflation that doesn't exist. To me, it's more likely that the inflation does exist and that the CPI is wrong. After all, what makes more sense? That the government could print all this money and prices not rise, or that prices are rising and the government is just not being honest about it? I decided to run an experiment of my own to judge the accuracy of today's consumer price index. So what I did is I selected 20 consumer goods that people pretty much buy every week. And I wanted to compare the increase in the price of that basket during two time periods. During the decade of the 1970s, when everybody agrees there was a lot of inflation, and the most recent 10-year period ending December 2012. The items that I selected for my basket were eggs, new cars, milk, gasoline, bread, rent for a primary residence, coffee, dental services, potatoes, electricity, sugar, airline tickets, butter, store-purchased beer, apples, public transportation, cereal, tires, beef, and prescription drugs. Now, during the decade of the 1970s, the consumer price index rose by a whopping 112%. That was the official number. But take a look at our basket of 20 goods. That basket rose by almost an identical percentage, 117%. Our basket of goods only rose 5% faster than the overall CPI. In other words, the government's official report of inflation pretty much captured all the inflation that was evidenced by my basket. Now let's contrast that to the decade 2002 to 2012. During that 10-year period, the official CPI rose just 27.5%, much more slowly than it did during the inflationary decade of the 1970s. But take a look at our basket. Our basket of 20 goods during that same time period went up by 44.3%. In other words, the price of our goods in this basket rose 61% faster than the official CPI. Contrast that to the same basket of goods in the 1970s that only rose 5% faster.
A dollar doesn't buy as much as it once did. According to the American Institute for Economic Research, a dollar in 1971 had 24 cents worth of purchasing power when compared to a dollar in 1913. A dollar in 2009 had about 4 cents worth of purchasing power on the same scale. This decline is known as inflation, and it isn't restricted to the dollar. However, the dollar is one of the world's most widely used currencies.
What is the lie? The lie is that our money is not based on anything except political decree. Money is created out of nothing. It's brought into being out of nothing, and it's loaned into the economy. It's loaned to you and to me and to governments, to corporations, and the banks collect interest on it, which means they collect interest on nothing. If you earn $100 today and you put it in the bank for your old age, you want some confidence that when you reach that old age and you reach for the drawer where your money is and you pull it out, the $100 still buys $100 worth of something instead of 10 cents worth of something. And if in fact it only buys 10 cents worth of something, somebody stole your money. Someone stole your money through a process called inflation. Our money has been stolen through this process of inflation by two primary groups. One is the government, the politicians. They're the ones that have created the laws that make this all legal. And the other group are the bankers. They're the ones who became partners with the politicians and convinced them to pass the laws to make their operation legal. If it weren't for the laws, the banks are doing essentially what you and I would go to jail for doing.
They do not count food or fuel in the inflation numbers. which is kind of stupid considering that's what's going up. But also, in addition to inflation and things costing more, I'm going to show you this. This was bought in 2009. Bar of soap, right? This cost $1. This was bought last week. It was 2 for $3. So this cost $3, so each bar was $1.50. Okay, you ready for this? See the difference? Also, I mean, I wish I could find, I'm going to dig into my stocks and see if I have it, but see that gouged out portion there? That used to be flush, right there. You see that? See that? That used to be filled in. So it went from filled in to that, and look, they're still gouging it, those little bastards. So let's just see how much they're screwing you. This one, turn on the scale. I hope you can see the scale numbers. I don't think you can. Okay. So it's reading 3.8 ounces for $1. This one is 2.2 ounces for $1.50. So it's 1.6 ounces less, and it's 50 cents more. So you tell me that there's no inflation. There is inflation, folks, and stuff is not getting better. So if you don't have your food and your water and your soap and your toothpaste and all that other stuff, you might want to get it now, because I don't think they can keep the ship afloat for very much longer. Anyway, thanks for watching.